What's going on, people, and welcome back. Today we're talking gain staging. Now I'm going to show you how you can use gain staging to ensure that you've got enough headroom to comfortably mix your tracks, also so you're not clipping or going into your plugins too hot. I'm also going to show you how you can use it to get more dynamic sounding mixes. So if you're struggling to get your kicks or your 808s to stand out in your mix, this is the video for you. All right, so I've got this beat here that's been kindly donated to me by Bhris Beats. His details are in the description below, so if you need some of that fire, hit him up now. He's got a YouTube channel where he's uploading all the time. I see you got a little shout out by Timberland, bro. That is big still. Anyway, let me play this beat real quick. As you can see, on every single track here, I've got a VU meter. So this VU meter, it's free, it's from Waves. So if you've got a Waves bundle, it'll be in there. Or if you don't, you can go hit Waves now and get this plugin for free. There's very little controls on here other than obviously the two massive meters. But what I want you to look at for the moment is this up here, headroom 18. What that means is we've set this to be calibrated so that the 0 on the meter is calibrated to -18 on our meters down here. So when this hits 0, we know that this is hitting -18, which is like around here. And what that means is even though we're peaking here and we want our whole entire track to be peaking at 0, that still leaves us with all of that headroom until it clips. Now, clipping is very bad. So back in the day, I'm sure you've seen the pictures of the white dude, you know, back in the day with the glasses and the mad jeans and the ponytail in front of all of that outboard gear. All of that equipment made noise. So they aimed to record their stuff as loud as possible. So they were aiming to hit that 0 when recording so they didn't have to turn it up later and introduce all of that noise. Also, they wanted to make sure they weren't recording too loud because then you start getting analog saturation, which can be used in a good way, but you know, generally speaking, you want a clean recording. Now, we don't have to worry about that too much because, you know, in a digital world, we don't have to worry about ground noise, but we do have to worry about clipping, which is arguably much worse than analog saturation. And that's because once it clips, once your signal hits 0, all of the information just gets cut, literally clipped. All right, so you know you got your waveform that's like rounded off, it will just square it off, and that's no good. So what we're gonna do first and foremost, as the first part of gain staging, is we're gonna make sure all of our tracks are peaking at 0. All right, so between 1 and 0, that's our sweet spot as it's known. So we're going to go through, we'll start with the kick, we'll solo out the kick. And I just want to make sure that my voice is still, my voice is still recording. So we'll solo out the kick and we're going to adjust the volume until it's between 1 and 0. All right, now watch this. You see that? I turned down the fader, but nothing changed on the meter. And that's because the fader is at the absolute end of our chain. We first have the clip with our waveforms on it, and then it goes to our inserts or our plugins, then the sends, then the fader, okay? So the fader is at the very end. And just to show you what I mean and why this part of gain staging is important, if we put an EQ on here, and we try to do any kind of EQing before we've done any gain staging, as soon as I EQ it by like 2 decibels, we're clipping. And as I said before, clipping is not good in most cases. All right. So if we want to change this meter, if we want to change the level going into our plugins, we've got to do it on our clip. All right. Let's fast forward a bit. All right, that looks pretty good to me. We're in between 1 and 0. That's our sweet spot. Now, I know that all of this stuff is quieter than my kick. I know we're not going to be anywhere near 0 on most of these things. So I'm not going to go through every one of them. But if we were back in the day, like I said, and we were one of them dons with a ponytail and the jeans, then we're gonna want to make sure that everything is turned up so it's hitting 0. As I said, if it's too quiet, the ground noise, but we don't need to worry about that. So I'm not even gonna go too deep into that. One other aspect I know that is going to be loud is the 808. So we're going to do it on the 808 as well. That's calm. That's looking good. Between 1 and 0. Perfect. All right. So now in theory, well, not in theory, but now you may think that because everything is below 0, we should be sweet. So let's get our VU meter up on our instrumental bus. So all of the instrumental is going to this instrumental bus. And let's see what it's doing on here. So we're going way over 0, aren't we? And that's because of all of the information is playing at once and going to our instrumental. So now is the second part of gain staging. And this is, in my head, why it's called gain staging, because you're changing the gain in stages. You're doing something, gain, doing something, gain, doing something, gain, whether it's gain up or gain down. So this is where we start leveling. And I'm going to turn down, as I did in the last video that got messed up when I was recording. I'm going to turn down our high perks. I'm going to turn down our music. I'm going to turn down the 808 as well, the bass. And we're going to start introducing our stems. So let's turn all of this down too. So this is our meter on the instrumental, right? So that, while we've got this EQ up, what I want to do as well is I want to do a little low cut here. So I'm going to, just from the jump, I'm going to roll off all of that low end. Okay, so that's sending less information into our meter, giving us more room to get things loud, basically. And of course, we're cutting some sub, but most of that is unhearable to the human ear, and most of it's going to be made up with this 808. So where's our meter gone? Let me make sure that this doesn't close again by pressing that. So I'm going to also add some compression. Do the R comp. All right, so with kicks, I like to do a slow attack, fast release, just so it really punches. 4:1 ratio. So as you can see, we lost some gain there. We lost some volume. It's gone down to 3 now. So what do? We boost it by 3. Gain staging. And that's all it is, push and pull. So let's bring in an 808. So I forgot to mention actually, when I'm gain staging and when I'm starting a mix, we can use gain staging to ensure that our main focus of the track, which in drill, I believe, is the kick and the 808 and the vocal, but we've got no vocals here. So in this instance, we're going to have the kick and the 808, the loudest point in the track. So we're going to make sure the kick and the 808 is peaking at 0 and that nothing else ever pushes it above that level. That way we know that the kick and the bass is the highest point, the loudest point. So bass. Let's bring in the bass. going to do the same with the bass. Is this on? No, it's not. We're going to do the same with the bass. Look at that. As I said in my last video, I already recorded this video once and messed up. So that's why that's already there. I forgot to turn it off, blah, 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 blah. But what we can also do, actually, whilst we're here, is we can cut out some of the highs because, you know, this is a bass. We don't need too much highs, right? So all of this noise that's going on up here, we can roll that off, giving us more space in our meter. And to be honest, there's not a lot going on up there to be. Not got a lot going on up there anyway, but fuck it. Do we want to add a compressor on there? Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's make that active. All right, so you saw there, the reason I kept that playing for so long is because I knew that bass slide was coming, the 808 slide was coming. You saw how the 808 slide pushed that up until like 2. That's fine. That is cool. That is the whole reason for this. Because like I said, we've got all of this headroom. So that pushing it above to like 2, or even if it pushed it to 3, like that's only gonna move the input to like here. We've still got all of that headroom. And that's the whole point, because if I didn't do the gain staging, every time it done one of them 808 slides, we're gonna clip. And because the 808 slides aren't persistent throughout the whole track, it just comes in once in a while, I'm fine with it hitting, you know, 2 every time that 808 comes in. I'm fine with it. So yeah, and then we can start bringing in the other parts of the track. I don't know why I keep closing the meter. Forgot about the hi-hats. All right, so we just want to do some EQ on this snare now, on this clap. And that, my friends, is the basics of gain staging. So now we've got our track at, you know, some good levels. Everything is where I like it. The 808s and the kick is where I like it. Then we can start introducing plugins. And every time we introduce a plugin and it changes our level, it pushes it up to like 1 or 2, we just bring the gain down. All right. So every plugin has a gain knob. The Pro Q2 has a gain knob. You know, this R compressor has a gain knob. So every time you're adding anything, just make sure you're keeping an eye on them on that meter. It's not always going to push it up. Don't think just because you've added something on the EQ is going to push it up. That's not the case. But just keep an eye on it. And I've got a meter on my desk, so I don't have to keep a plugin open, which saves me screen retail. I just look down at my meter and, you know, I adjust as I need to. So if you guys want to see me mix this beat, the next video that will be uploaded sometime next week will be me mixing this beat. We've already got a good foundation. So from here, we just got to kind of enhance some parts. Mainly, we're going to be using bus processing and things like that because the beat sounds pretty good already. And yeah, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. Hit the bell so you don't miss that video. And thank you, of course, as always, for watching. And I'll see you next time. Peace.